Welcome everybody to Tasty Tuesdays. I'm Lorraine Hughes, your host, and tonight we have Deb Gilmore, as we know, from the Soul Guidance Oracle. Thank you for coming to play, Deb.
Thank you for having me.
Yay, I'm so excited.
It's brilliant.
I have so much fun putting those little intro videos together for you. So it's something just a little bit special that I can do for you as my special ghost.
Thank you. Very grateful. Very grateful.
So, Deb, I know that you have been around the spiritual circles for a really long time, and I would love to know just a little bit about, what is your speciality, and then we can get into a little bit more of the nitty-gritty.
My speciality? Oh, I have lots. But I guess I love to paint and I love to write and channel and write. That's what I really love. So I guess that would be my speciality. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So how did you get into your spiritual journey? What sort of began your spiritual journey?
Oh, look, as a child, I had lots of spiritual connections through my uncle. He was a psychic medium, and my family were very intuitive, and I always had that knowing without really knowing. But I was really blessed because I had my uncle there to talk about what was happening, and he was always playing with his tarot cards, and he taught me at a very young age to, read tarot and to enjoy it. And I guess, so I grew up that way. But like most people, life takes over and your connections lessen a little bit, and, your life gets busy. But as I was, going along my journey, every so often, if I drifted from my path, the universe would slowly, gently point me back into a little bit of a spiritual path, and you go, okay, thank you. But, so I've always had that, and having him talk to me or ring me up and say, oh, I'm feeling this, this and this, what's happening, I was very lucky to be able to talk to him like that about what was going on, and he always made me aware that there was always people around me to help me and look after me and guide me. So I always grew up knowing that, so I've never forgotten that. So that's kept me on my journey.
Yeah, wow. Out of all of my beautiful guests, I think you would be one of the very few who had that support right from a very young age. Most of my guests have all had to sort of like stumble around and into it on their own, and have gone through, some pretty rough times before that. As your guides and angels and team were sort of like gently nudging you, they were kind of slapping the rest of them over the head with a 4x2, myself included.
I mean, we've all had our challenges that we've been dealt with along our journey that we've had to do, and and that makes you focus on different things, I guess. But I've always, in the back of my mind, been blessed to know that they were there. So yeah, it was good. But as you're growing up, you question things. You do as a kid, I guess, and a teenager. But he used to put me straight. So it was all good. Yeah.
So as some of my beautiful audience will know, and I'm giving the ones that are on right now just a little bit of a heads up, we will be chatting about one of your beautiful creations. And that beautiful creation is the Inner Soul Guidance Oracle, which Deb has very, very kindly said that she's willing to gift one of my lovely viewers a pack this evening. So you have to watch live to be able to be in to win. So if you do wish to be in to win that pack of Oracle cards that have been beautifully, lovingly intuited and created by Deb and Leanne Winston, please say hi in the chat, and we will do another reminder a little bit later in the show, just for the people that come on a bit later. But say hi in the chat, and then we can pop you in a draw towards the end of the show. All right.
Wonderful.
So happy to be able to do that.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I'm just so grateful to you. I was not expecting that at all, and it was like, oh wow, that's so cool.
It is Christmas.
And of course, this is anywhere in the world. So I do have viewers from all over the place at times. I have ones from New Zealand and America and UK. And
beautiful.
Yeah,
that's wonderful.
I know, this is so cool. So with your vast journey and your spiritual journey, like, have you got what does consciousness mean to you? Like, everybody has their own sort of spin on what it means to them. What is your spin on it?
Well, to me, it's my thoughts, my memories, my feelings, my sensations. It's unique to me, about my feelings on, and my views on environment and thoughts, and it's all about how I feel and my thoughts. That's how I feel about it.
I love that. And it's like tapping into, the bigger you, your being, if you like, your soul,
But it's all my thoughts, my messages, my feelings.
And not being tainted with anybody else's stuff coming in.
And tuning into my gut feelings, like my feelings, I guess. What I feel about consciousness, but anyway.
I might not be wrong. The thing is, there's no right and no wrong answer to that. It's everybody's answer has been completely unique, which is so cool.
Yeah. It is. It's beautiful.
Just popping in the chat that people need to say hi to be in to win. So where did you grow up? I'm curious. Where did you grow up?
Well, obviously I was born in Fremantle in Western Australia. And then my mum and my grandmother and myself, I was obviously little, but we travelled around Australia, broke down in Coober Pedy. So obviously it took, a long time to get a part up for your car then. But Mum fell in love with Coober Pedy, and we ended up going back there, and they're still there, my stepfather and my mum. So I grew up most of my life in Coober Pedy.
Oh, wow.
Which is beautiful.
Yeah.
So hence the colours of the car. Sorry, what was that?
Do you remember much of your travels from your early childhood?
I remember a lot of it. And some things you sort of, which is sort of funny but personal, but you remember things, things that happened and you think, oh my God. But it was good. It was good. But because we stayed at a lot of places along the way, and we might have stayed a year here, 6 months there, 3 months there. So it was amazing. It really was amazing. But but growing up in Coober Pedy, that's why I painted the colours on our cards with colour. One, because they align with your chakra, but two, because it's opal. It's all your chakra colours are in opal, and because I grew up in Coober Pedy, I wanted to paint in colour. So so that's why you'll notice on our Inner Soul Guidance cards that they are very colourful.
They are incredibly colourful, definitely. And you've just reminded me that I require to put a picture of them up, so I've just got to quickly organise that.
Oh, that's all right. But I spent a lot of my most of my life in Cupidi, and I worked in the bank there. They transferred me to Tennant Creek and then Darwin, and then I started work for Lorraine and went to Port Douglas and then moved to Sydney, and so then went back to Perth and had my daughter, then came to Adelaide. So I've travelled a fair bit. I get itchy feet.
Yeah, I know the feeling. Like when I grew up, it was like, gosh, I went to I think it was 4 different primary schools. You know? And it's just one of the things. Like, I only went to the one high school, but I did go to 4 different primary schools, and then just life. I ended up traveling a lot once I'd left home and stuff. But even when I was still living at home, we used to travel, go just traipsing around the countryside a lot. So it's like most of the North Island of New Zealand I've seen at one time or another. It's I feel very fortunate because there's a lot of people that you meet. They don't get to see much of their own country, and it's like it's such a sad thing.
I mean, I feel blessed that I've been able to travel as much as what I have, and I've travelled overseas and through Europe, and I feel blessed that I've been able to do that. But because there's some amazing places.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
Absolutely, and I wish to travel more of the country for sure. And more of this country. I've seen a little bit of Queensland. I've done up to Noosa and then back down driving, and then took the train from Brisbane down to Coffs Harbour. That was lovely too. I haven't done Tassie. I haven't done Northern Territory, and I haven't done the Nullarbor. I really wish to do the Nullarbor at least once.
The Nullarbor is good. Nullarbor is really good. But I remember going across the Nullarbor with my mum, and a truck went past us and a rock flew up and smashed our windscreen. And I remember we had this plastic over our windscreen, but it was amazing. We had so much fun and it was so good. And I was reading a book to Mum while she was driving, and it was just the memories that you have growing up. Wonderful.
That's
but it was
incredible.
Good. It was good. Trying to hold the plastic to keep the wind out, But it is what it is, It was good fun. We found lots of helpful people along the way, so it was all good.
That's the one thing that I find is very similar between Australia and New Zealand is that, you do find, especially when you get out into the country, pretty much anybody will stop and help you. Like if you get stuck, they'll help, and that's one of the things that I really love about both countries is that sense of humanity and, community that you sort of lose in the city a bit.
You do. But when you're in the bush and stuff like that, people know that, there's nowhere for miles. So, they do stop and help you, which is really grateful. It's really wonderful.
Yeah. It would have been even better if that truck hadn't hit the stone your way.
Yes. But hey, we made it.
Yeah, you did. And you've got the fantastic story to tell.
Yes, we had a good time. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. It is. That's just hilarious.
Yeah. You have lots of stories to tell, but I'm not sure I'd do them on air. But anyway. One day.
I just remembered I can do this. Woohoo, look at that. Ooh, fancy. All right. So we have our, check this out, woohoo. So if you wish to go in the draw to win one of these beautiful card decks, which, as Deb was saying, is done in the colours of the chakra, which is also the opal. Yeah. So to those of you who don't know, and and I've only learned this since coming here, opal is actually a very unique stone, and it's only able to be created under a very unique set of circumstances. And Deb, could you tell us a little bit more about how that happens, like with the opals and stuff?
Opals created over millions of years, and sort of like water, silica sips through to little pockets, and then it sort of crystallizes, like crystals are formed, and obviously it generates from light, and then a crystal beautiful opal is formed. So it's sort of in the pockets of dirt where silica and water are formed. So yeah, it's hard to find, but when you find it, it's just beautiful.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
you have to go mining, and so you either open cut mining, which is done with a bulldozer, or done with a cordal drill. So they drill a hole deep into the ground, probably about 80 feet, and then they have ladders and a winch that you go down, and then they dig away and use dynamite or gelignite to blast out some of the wall and pick away and try and find opal. Not everybody's that lucky, but once you do find it, you're hooked. It's really hard not to keep looking, because it's just amazing stuff. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's just a beautiful creation, but millions of years to create. So different colours, different price tags. The more red, obviously, the more expensive, and whether it's a crystal or a black opal, or there's different varieties, and that adds to the price tag. But it's beautiful.
Absolutely. I actually remember I bought my mum some, I think it was zebra opal, and the earrings, I'm pretty sure they were, because she doesn't wear necklaces or anything. And I was told by the gentleman who sold it to me that it's specifically uniquely South Australian. You can't get zebra opal anywhere else. So I was, wow,
just like Boulder opal is in Queensland, which is, there's opal but very different in colour and shaped differently, that's unique to different areas. So, like black opal is more lightning ridge, and beautiful crystal opal is more Kibapedi side of it. So, but you still find some black opal in Kibapedi, which is beautiful. It's
amazing.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And I love that you've used those colours in the card deck. I think that's absolutely stunning.
Yeah. Over the years, the amount of beautiful opal I've seen, it's really hard not to be inspired by colour.
Yeah, 100%. So what is what would you say in all of your beautiful spiritual work and your creations and everything that you've done sort of on that side of life, what would be your most tastiest moment?
I have lots, but apart from having our cards published, lately I love being part of the psychic markets. I've met so many amazing people, and it's a real blessing to have met them. And then I have so many beautiful souls that cross my path, and I'm really humbled by their words of encouragement, and that, I find that really amazing. And then lately we've been holding some workshops, and they've been amazing fun. I find them really rewarding, and so I've just, that's the latest things, but I have lots of tasty moments, so it's all good.
Tell me more about those workshops. What are they about?
Well, really, it's teaching people how to get back in touch with their gut feeling, and learning a bit about their intuition and how we all connect differently, just like fingerprints, we're all different. So, everybody connects differently and gets messages differently and sees things differently. But having Leanne there, who is, a wonderful psychic medium, and she gives her take and I give you my take, and everybody sort of gets a bit of an understanding, and then we slowly get people to read with maybe one card and see what they get. And this is saying it really quickly, mind you. And you'll be amazed how we'll only have like 12 people, because then everybody can be involved and you don't miss out. And I find that nice little quiet group is more rewarding. And then you'll find that everybody will write down their own meaning, but they'll all be the same. So it's quite interesting. They may word it a little differently, but it's all the same. Yeah. So it's quite, and then everyone sort of is a bit like, wow, you know, and then you practice a bit of that, and then we might do 2 and 3, and then we'll do some readings on the board for people, pulling cards and see what everybody gets from it. And so it's just a fun day of like-minded souls and learning to enjoy, our deck, and we explain a lot more about our deck and how it started. And and then Leanne can give a different meaning to speaking to those who have passed over. And it's just, it's a fun day of really getting to understand. By the end of the day, they're really reading. So it's quite beautiful to see. So because they're trusting their intuition, and it's just amazing day. So I'm finding that very rewarding. We've had children and as well as grandmothers, so it's all good. So from one younger year to an older year, so everybody's welcome. So yeah, it's wonderful. It's wonderful.
Wow. That would be incredible to watch the kids going through that process, you know.
Well, they don't have the life trauma like we do, and they have different takes on things, because we're a bit more hesitant where they'll just come out and tell you how they feel, like that. Where it's really interesting. It's really, really interesting. It's wonderful.
Oh, absolutely. Kids are just the best for just saying it like it is.
Yeah. Or they'll see more colour. They'll focus on different colours and then tell you what that means to them, and it's just it's really rewarding. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. It's like, I know when I was facilitating bars classes and things, and every now and then a teenager would come through and they would just be able to not only have their bars run really, really fast, but also they would run adults' bars really fast. Yeah. And it was like the adults would be like, yeah, but don't I have to make them do it for like 90 minutes? No, because children don't have all of the points of views and the belief systems that you do. You know, they're not all clogged up with all the crap.
That's exactly right.
So they're just so fast.
Yeah, and it's just lovely to watch people interpret our cards differently, and that's beautiful. That's really nice. And when they see things that you're not sure if people will see, so you think, oh, they got it. So it's just good. It's just fun. It's really good fun. Yeah.
Absolutely. Do you know when you've got your next class running?
Yes, hang on. 26th of March is the next one. We'll probably put that on our Facebook page in the next week or so, but so we can start bookings. But yeah, 26th of March we'll do it. Yeah. Fantastic. We hold it at Terry's Spiritual Centre, so it's just a beautiful, beautiful place, a nice building, and yeah, it's quite calming and very peaceful, so it's lovely. The energy is amazing. So yeah,
that does sound fantastic. Yeah. Love it. So within the markets and all of that side of things, and your spiritualness, so do you do readings and things with your clients? How do you work with your business?
Because when you're at the markets and you're, I'm sort of teaching people about our deck and showing them and selling them. So it's really difficult to be doing readings at the same time. I sort of leave the reading side to Leanne, and I like to sort of, explain people how our cards, what they're about, I do indirectly do a reading, I guess. But
Of course you do.
you'll find that I will ask you to pick a number, because when you pick a number, you're not really thinking about a question. You're sort of thinking the first number that comes to you, and then you're getting some true guidance. So that number relates to a number on the card, and then I get them to read what we wrote about that. And you'll find sometimes people just need that validation, and to hear how good they are. So I indirectly give them a read, but they're sort of, getting a bit of guidance at the same time, and it's lovely to watch. It's really lovely to watch. So that I find is just, my pleasure. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And every time I see you at the markets or whatever, I'm just like, hi. And I'm sure most of the time you're like, who's this crazy chick? She keeps saying hello to me, but I don't know her.
I'm usually the one singing and mucking around, getting into trouble, but that's okay.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
my goodness.
Yeah, but that's all right. But everyone's sort of used to me now, so it's okay. At first, they probably thought, "Oh my God, who's this woman?" But it's all right. I laugh a lot.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I always approach those sorts of things from that space of like just expansiveness and just lightness. And like I always find that if I ever, and I think I've only ever done it once, where I felt sort of really funky coming into a market, and I think I was really tired, and I'd had a full-on course the week before, and it was just I was a little bit meh. And that particular market I didn't do quite as well until me and a couple of friends of mine, we actually did some energy healing on each other. And then all of a sudden we were just like chock it up for the rest of the day, because we were light and we were clear.
But I find that laughing raises your vibration, so it attracts. So, but I laugh all the time anyway, so I don't even have to think about it. But I'm always chucking jokes, and the naughtiness comes out, but it's all good. It's all good. Yeah. Oh, I love it.
I 100% agree. It's like the cleaning job that I had today, and there was 4 of us on the job, and the things that we started talking about when we were all kind of ended up semi in the same area, and it was like 2 of them are single, and so there was some funny conversations going on there around dating apps and the types of people. We were just cracking up laughing while we're cleaning away all the marks on the walls and on the blinds.
But that's a fun. That helps the day move, and yes, I mean, you got to have fun. That's how I feel. You got to have a laugh. You got to have fun. You got to, I guess, not think of things so seriously sometimes. So find the lighthearted to it.
It's like listening to music. Having music playing while you're doing those sorts of jobs, or it always helps.
Yeah, and and even when people come up to me for, to have a look and they pick a card or whatever, I'm always there for them to talk to, and I talk to them, and hopefully by the end of our conversation they walk away laughing and feeling a lot better. But sometimes they just need a shoulder to talk to, so it's good. And when they pick a card and they'll go, "Oh my God," and they'll go, "Oh my God, that's so me right now," and then out it all comes. And it's I find that rewarding, because they're having a release, they're letting it go, and I'm there as a shoulder to offer a bit of guidance. So to me, that's wonderful. So that's sort of my reading indirectly. But it's free.
Yeah, How's it getting any better? So tell me, how did you and Leanne come together and sort of,
Wow.
start looking? Tell me the journey and the story of these beautiful cards.
Well, I guess the universe had a lot to do with it, but I've always wanted to publish my own deck. I've, done cards for many, many years with my friends and family and other people I know. And the timing was never right. I was never in the right spot at the right time, I guess. But I met up with Leanne, our paths crossed, and I was really amazed at her beautiful ability to speak to spirit. And, time would pass and our paths would cross again. And then I, went for a reading with her and I got to know her a bit better. And then we started catching up for coffee. And, yeah, it was one time in Hahndorf. It was October 2019, I guess it was. And we were having coffee and I mentioned that I just felt the time was right to do my own deck. And Leanne said how she's always wanted to publish a deck. And then one thing led to another and we joined forces and, yeah, we just produced this amazing deck, and it was over COVID. So the universe made sure we had time because obviously, my hours were lessened a bit because of COVID, and so that was like, yay.
Yeah.
So, and we all had to stay inside sometimes, so that was really good because Leanne and I could talk like Zoom, 24/7. So that was interesting. So yeah, we started, like I emailed, with a few of my ideas, and Leanne came back with some, and then we sort of like printed out bits and pieces and put a book together, and then we started going through it to work out what resonated with us from, the images we were looking at.
Yeah.
And then I started to paint them, and then they all changed anyway, so that was okay. And just as Leanne would have her heart set on something, I changed it. So that's okay. So then, we started to, started excuse me for a minute, kept, changing the way I was painting them, I guess. But so then we, when we were sort of happy with the images, we started to sit together and work out what would come to us for each message on the card, I guess. So that was fun. That was really, really good fun. Then, I guess Leanne didn't really want to have a guidebook because she's always been taught to not use a guidebook and to trust your intuition. But I really believe in guidebooks. But the publisher said to us we had to do one. So I was coming home and I would knock off, 2 or 3, and then I'd email them to Leanne, and she would have a little play and, yes, that's good, or no, put that, or change that word, or then I'd email them to my mum, can you do all the grammar? And she was sort of like, oh, I didn't have to change anything on that one. That's all right, so that was good. So sort of the guidebook started to take form, but one thing we noticed is when we were looking at images and when I started to paint them, I didn't say, like, I'm going to paint that one first and that one second and that one third. They just sort of fell into first 1, 2, 3, 4. They fell into a line of where they're supposed to be. So that was interesting. And then I started having a little look at angel numbers and realised where they all fell into, and that really blew me away. But that was beautiful. So then when we started to write them, the same thing happened. It just sort of, you'd get into that zone, you'd meditate, and it was just flowing out of me. I was just pumping it out, so it was just really rewarding. And, and then, having Leanne there to work with to check things and to add things and change things, it was great teamwork. So it was really good. And then it just sort of came together, I guess. So the two of us were like yin and yang, we made the mold.
Yeah, you complemented each other beautifully. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
and I have to say, every time I've gone past and I've looked at that card deck and I've just gone, yum. Yum.
Well, we wanted it to have like a hand-drawn image. We didn't want it to feel digitally done. And I wanted you to feel the fun and love that went into each drawing. So that's the main reason, why. And I can see you've got the tree up there. The tree was the only one that I only painted once. So and then it was just perfect. So I didn't redo it. A couple of them they did change over redoing and redoing. But that's okay. It was all learning. I hadn't used watercolour before. I'd, used all different mediums, I guess, but watercolour was new, so that was all learning for me too. But it was wonderful, just wonderful, really wonderful.
Oh, wow. What a cool journey. Well, we get to a point of actually producing, because I have a poetry book, which is very similar.
Well,
and it was created, I'd been away at a class, and one of the questions in the class is, what have I already created that I've totally disregarded because I've already created it? Because that's what us creatives do. We create stuff and then we go, right, that's done, and we leave it, right? And we don't always follow through and turn it into a business or anything like that, because we're just so quick at moving things. And we're on to the next bright and shiny thing. So I say full props to you both for creating this card deck, because it's like, and seeing it through to an actual physical element that people can buy. I think that's just absolutely brilliant. It's amazing.
Well, I think we amazed ourselves as well, so it's good. It was a really good journey.
So it's like, and this book was never, ever meant to be an intuitive poetry book. From my perspective, it was just something that I created. And like, my team wouldn't let me not create it. They kept saying to me, like, I walked in and I used to have, well, I still do have one book that has all my poetry in it, handwritten. And I was living in this little cottage all by myself, and I'd been asking this question for a couple of days, and my poetry book was, first of all, I walked into the house one day and it said poetry, and I said no. Because my poetry was mine. It's like reading my diary, it's like, no, not happening. And then a couple of days later, after still asking the question, my poetry book was literally on the floor. It had been pushed out of the bookshelf and was lying flat on the floor. And I was like, no.
Someone's trying to tell you something.
I was like, no. And I put it back. And then about next week or next week, a few days later, it was halfway out. And I was like, fine. So I just started writing them up. And, about a year before that, a friend of mine in Canada had given me the template to be able to publish it up on Amazon or wherever, and as an ebook or a hard copy book or whatever. And, it was just like everything was sort of falling into place without me even realizing it. And much like your card deck, when I ask people to think of the first number between 1 and 88, boom, a number pops into their head. And I'll read the poem. And it's like, at the same time, there's all this intuitive knowledge comes through, like information, and then I can have that poem, and it's like it changes slightly depending on the information that comes through. So working with your cards is exactly the same. I love that.
Like people have to, remember that when you're sitting in front of a computer and you're channeling and you're in that zone, and they're the words that come out when you're writing about each thing. It's very different when someone pulls a card, or someone pulls a card and gives it to you, because you're getting sort of different messages because their energy is involved and their messages are coming for them. So it's not necessarily then about what you've written about that card, it's what's coming to you at that time. But yeah, it's sort of a bit of both. So, and that's part of learning. But yeah, the whole process was just so much fun.
Absolutely.
It was
Absolutely. I love that. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what top tip would you give to someone just sort of thinking about making or having a creation that they're thinking about, or it's sort of brewing away off to the side there? Like, what sort of top tip would you give them?
You just see it, smell it, taste it, look for it, hunt for it. You just don't let it go. Because it'll happen when it's supposed to happen, but you just don't let it out of your foresight. So you just keep looking for that, and then you start mixing with like-minded souls, and you start finding out information, and you'll get messages from all different ways, because you're looking for something in particular. So you'll start seeing things and, oh shit, I can use that. And things start to register, and you just keep looking, because once you know what it is that you want, it's like a bow and arrow, you're shooting straight towards it. So as you're focusing on it, the universe is sort of bringing what it's supposed to towards you. So if it sends you on a different path, mate, I don't know, I'm stubborn. So I keep going back, But, you see the signs along the way as which way you're supposed to go. But it's like playing hide and seek. You just keep looking for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I love. I mean, if you start, that's a business side of it, I guess, or something that you want to produce. Spiritual journey, well, that's an amazing thing too, isn't it? You start a course, you start learn meditation. You're in a different circle of people. You start talking to different people. They start saying, oh, I should have done that course. That was really good. And you start looking for different things to do. And all of a sudden you're on this spiritual journey, it's like, and you're finding out things about yourself and others. And it's a whole new experience. And the universe sort of keeps you on track a bit. If you go off your path a bit, they'll whack you into gear. So it's all good. It does things, and if you don't listen, it just throws your life up in the air and see where it lands, because they'll just take it into their own hands. But it's all good. It really is.
I love that.
Did that give advice? I don't know if it was good advice.
Yeah, I would say, to sum that up, it would be tenacious.
Yeah.
Be tenacious. Just keep plugging away, because
just
it's like
keep looking for it. Yeah.
And just keep bringing those, and be open to those elements coming in.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, when my friend shared with me this template for writing a book, I had no idea that that's what was going to come forward. I had no idea at all. It was just, thank you for sharing that with me. I think we maybe had a conversation maybe about me writing a book at something, but I was like, this is amazing. You just
once you know what it is that you want to do, and you start to do it, it just happens. It just happens. Yeah. So it's great. You just keep wanting to do it, and it'll happen. Yeah. It'll happen.
For sure.
Yeah.
So if you could sit next to any person, dead or alive, for an afternoon, a perfect afternoon, on a park bench, who would it be and why?
Well, I think I've pondered over that question for about a week. It's not an easy question. It really isn't an easy question, because I have a lot of beautiful friends and family that have passed over that you'd give anything to have half an hour with. But there's a lot of wonderful people that I've never met that have passed over as well that I would, love to have time with. And then there's a lot of people that are still living and still here with us that you think, well, I wouldn't mind meeting you. So, that question was really, really difficult, if you really think about it. It's really hard. But I had to sort of say sorry to all my family and friends because one name that keeps coming to me that I probably really would like to spend some time with was Martin Luther King. I thought, what a man. That would be amazing. Amazing. I need to drink water, but that would have been amazing.
Yeah, he's one of my top as well. I would love to just pick his brains and just get a sense of who he truly was, because there's so many, tall tales now of,
yes,
who and what, and it's like, I would like to get to know you,
But, like he is a man that was able to rally hundreds of thousands of people without social media, without any connections that we have. So that word of mouth spread like wildfire because they all sort of believed in what his vision and his values were. And I think that was amazing. Yeah. But he's a very humble angel, and I think I'd love to hear his cut on what he thinks about now, So, I think he would be the one person I would really like to spend some time with.
Yeah, I agree.
His values are very close to mine, so I think, it would be a hot conversation. It would be excellent.
It would be. And
because I agree that he sees people from the inside and not on the outside. And that's how I am. So that's why I chose him. Yeah.
I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you. I think everybody must be out doing their Christmas shopping today.
Oh, that's
so
okay.
We are going to have I think, stretch out for 24 hours.
Yep, that's fine.
Yeah, because I have a funny feeling that there's some people watching this on the replay.
Yep.
So between tonight and tomorrow night, the first person to say hi on the chat, even if it's the replay, you will win this card deck.
Yeah.
Yay! So I'm actually going to put it in my emails. I'm going to do a quick newsletter tonight, I think.
Wonderful.
Just to give my lovely peeps a bit more of a chance to get their hot little hands on this beautiful, beautiful creation.
Yeah.
And I'm just so thrilled. Yeah. Somebody who really requires it, that would be a beautiful thing.
Yep.
I know that there are some absolutely amazing people out there who, will find this particular card deck to be very helpful to them to developing their remembering their intuitive abilities, and but all it takes is a hi in the chat.
But people use it how they want to use it, how they feel drawn to use it. I've had a beautiful friend who went through horrific breast cancer who pulled a card every day. She said it was like her mum giving her some daily guidance and comfort. So I thought that was a beautiful thing. I've had a beautiful letter written saying that a lady who runs a abuse women's group uses that for them to choose a card to give them some positive guidance for their life. I have friends that just have it sitting at their front door, and whoever walks in has to pick a card, so it's and you can't walk through the door until you've picked a card, so but people will use it to how they want to use it, and I'm grateful for that. And some will just pick it once a week and have a bit of guidance. Some will, do the way we've shown them at the workshop and learn and grow. Some who've been reading for many, many years just can pick it up and read, and that's wonderful, and I'm really blessed. It's lovely to watch them use our deck of cards to read for people. It's really rewarding. But you will use them how you feel guided to use them. Let's put it that way.
One of the things that I do love about your cards is that they do have not only the image and obviously the title of the image, but you've also got a little bit of like descriptive words as well underneath that. And to me, being a reader, having that, just that little like brief synopsis, if you like, of that card underneath, actually physically on the card, makes a world of difference between being able to just pick the cards up and run with them, whereas some cards where they've got nothing but an image, unless you're really used to using tarot or something like that, it can be harder to get into those.
Yes, it is hard to learn and to trust your intuition when you just sometimes need a little bit of guiding help, but and once you've sort of got a few words to get you going, it sort of flows, so some don't need it, some do. So I remember my uncle when his decks were in German, so that was a bit difficult because I don't read German, and I inherited some of his decks, and I'm like, I don't know what that means, so I really trust my intuition. It's really, like some are in Chinese, so that's hard. But yeah, you just really have to trust how you feel. But it's all good.
Absolutely. I've got a couple of really like zingy, potent card decks, but again, they've got no words on them, and you're like, oh yay, it stretches you. It really does, and I love that about them too. Oh dear.
But yeah. I mean, and as you get used to reading, it sort of comes a bit easier. But when you're beginning, sometimes a few words really is good.
Yeah, absolutely. And guess what? Guess what?
What?
We have our winner of our card Congratulations, Debbie Love. Yes.
Hey. Congratulations.
It was as easy as that, you see. All those people that have been lurking in the background the whole show.
All I had to do was type hi.
Hi. So Debbie is in New Zealand.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Oh, cool. She said, yay, my very first deck. You're going to absolutely love this Oracle card deck, and we will organize that. So Debbie, if you could PM me your details, your address, and then we'll sort it out from there. So Merry Christmas to you.
And mobile phone number so I can attach tracking, please.
Yes. Beautiful. So we can organize that off a little bit in about 10 minutes.
and just send it to me, babe.
Absolutely.
And I'll send it. Don't worry. Well done, Deb.
Yay! So happy. Happy. I was like, who's it gonna go to? Yes. So happy. Oh, that has just made my night.
It's really good. Really good.
I knew if I just pulled the energy just enough, we'd get the right person to come through.
Yeah.
So that's
fantastic. Great. It's excellent. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and Debbie says, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
There we go.
Welcome.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, this is so exciting.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Mm.
Well, Deb, thank you. It's going from
Yep.
Deb to Debbie.
I know. It's good.
It was destined.
Excuse me.
Well, Deb, thank you so much for coming to play with us today and for being your guiding, shining light and for sharing your magic and your laughter with us on this beautiful Tennessee Tuesday. I'm so, so grateful for you.
Thank you
and
for
of
having
course,
me.
people get in touch with you if they wish to receive some of your magic.
Yep. I mean, they can I'll be at Queen of Wands Psychic Fair at Moana on January the 15th next, I guess. Or you certainly can jump onto our Facebook page or send me a message or But certainly if you're out that way, come past and say g'day. Then we'll be going to Mildura and Tanunda and Brisbane in February and so we'll be around. So it's all good.
Fantastic. That is so super cool. I'm super happy for you and for everybody who can get their hot little hands onto a set of your cards and enjoy them and use them and, keep growing their intuitive abilities. And, any card deck that we use is always helping us to grow, shift, change, and expand because every card deck is slightly different. They've got different energies attached to them, thanks to the creators. And in this case, both Deb and Leanne have done a beautiful, beautiful job. And I'm so happy to hear more of the background behind them and your contribution. And so happy that we have organised this chat. So thank you for coming on tonight.
Thank you for having me. It's been wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you.
Alrighty, beautiful ones. So, of course, we'll be back on Friday for Find You Fridays, our intuitive reading show. And then next week, I should have Lisa Brooke from Sage Guidance on. So I'm looking forward.
Fabulous.
I know, right? I'm looking forward to having her right before
wonderful.
Christmas.
Yeah.
She's such a sweetie.
Yep, she is.
And it's going to be an exciting chat. So until next time, have fun, enjoy yourself, get out there, be bold, be brave, be you, my beautiful friends, and go do something tasty for yourself, okay? Make sure you focus on that during this time of the year because, my goodness, we can get a little bit forgetful of that.
Yep. And just keep laughing.
Exactly. All right. Till next time, everybody. Bye-bye, darling.
Bye.